even as myself, I'm trying to get meetings with administrators and find out what's going on, try to get more information. But I mean, at this point, it's us trying to help our students as much as we can.
Students and community members held a rally earlier today to bring awareness to the recent crime in and around the University of Houston campus. Assaults and armed robberies are just some of the crimes being reported, and protesters say they're fed up and want new safety protocols.
And we now know that a man who's charged in the most recent sexual assault on campus was already arrested but released just hours later. Our Abigail Dye explains why and how this could even happen.
This is Eric LaTroy Brown. He is charged with 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault and 1 count of aggravated robbery. And yes, the day that he allegedly raped a student, he was put in jail and then released just hours later. Here's that timeline. So records say that it was February 7th that he attacked a student in the Welcome Garage and violated her in multiple ways and then robbed her. It says that this happened around 5:30 p.m. and that's when the girl reported the rape to the University of Houston Police Department. Then the records go on to say that hours later, around 11:40 p.m., 2 different UHPD officers encountered Brown. It says that there was an altercation and they ended up tasing Brown and arresting him and booking him into jail. Now, the Harris County District Attorney says that there was not sufficient evidence for them to pursue charges on the assault of an officer or evading. So he was booked into jail on the 7th, but then released on the 8th. Defense attorney Anthony also says that this all comes down to probable cause and possibly a lack of communication.
If the district attorney's office doesn't file charges and doesn't find that there's probable cause, then the jail is not going to keep someone under arrest any longer.
If we had this aggravated sexual assault reported at 5:30 and then a suspect that matches that description encountered police just hours later, then why couldn't he be held on the probable cause for the sexual assault?
Well, that's a great question, and I think it all comes back really to communication between the officers that were on duty and took that report at 5:30 regarding the sexual assault and the officers that had the interaction with Mr. Brown later in the evening. And I think that it's possible, I know we're not certain at this point, but there might have been a lack of communication. There might not have been a be on lookout throughout the agency at that time. And so when the officers apprehended Mr. Brown later in the evening, while he may have had the same suspect profile, they didn't know that at that time. And if they didn't have those facts, they couldn't have provided that to the district attorney's office, and they probably didn't feel or think that they had probable cause to arrest him for aggravated sexual assault and aggravated robbery.
Tonight on our Tell 26 Live polling, we asked you if you had any questions about U of H security. And we did get a question from Suzanne Martin in Baytown asking, would more cameras be helpful? Someone would need to monitor the cameras and dispatch appropriately. That's a great question, Suzanne. In these court documents about the latest sexual assault case, they do say that officers observed the suspect on security cameras, but they didn't catch the actual assault. And U of H did put out a comprehensive safety plan with more security measures, and they do mention more security cameras. Caroline Collins will dive deeper into that coming up next. For now, we'll send it back to you.
Well, that's right, Abigail. We did reach out to UH about students' concerns, and they sent us their plans to improve security measures. Phase 1 of the $18 million campus lighting and security project is already completed. They enhanced lighting and security components across campus, and that includes adding more lights, more security cameras, and more emergency call boxes, and more security signage. Phase 2 will add more lights to the dark areas in 5 parking areas. It's scheduled to be completed at the end of spring 2026.